Good day, dear students, and welcome back to today's class. Yesterday's class, we've looked at the story called My Lord the Baby by Rabindranath Tagore, and we've seen so far that the story is about this man called Raicharan. Who is Raicharan? Raicharan is a servant, and he has been employed by this household to look after their newborn baby. This newborn baby is Anukul. So we've seen that Raicharan used to look after him and he took very good care of him until Anukul grew up and he got married, and Anukul began his own family. He started his own family. Okay. Now Anukul has a son. That is what we are told, and Raicharan gets very close to this baby. It is his responsibility to look after Anukul's son, and he does it with all the efforts that he can put forward. He loves the baby and he loves his job very much. We are told that the baby is also very fond of Raicharan, and also we are told that the baby is very smart. It's something that Raicharan noticed in the way the baby plays, especially when the baby used to crawl and Raicharan used to go to catch the baby. Raicharan noticed that this baby has a very strong sense of judgment. So the baby is not very ordinary. At a very young age, Raicharan has found out that this baby is really smart. Okay. Then we are told that the baby's father, that is Anukul, is transferred to this new place, which is very close to the river Padma. And we are told that there's a time when the river is flooded and it floods the area around it. Okay, so there are villages and there are fields that are submerged with the force of the water of the river Padma. Okay, and so because the situation is quite dangerous outside, the baby is not allowed to go outside. But as we know, children can get very cranky and they love to move out. Okay, so one day when the weather is slightly better and there's a little bit of sun outside, that is when the baby decides that the baby does not want to stay indoors anymore. The baby wishes to go out. Okay, and we are told that every time Raicharan used to take the baby out, he used to put the baby in the go-kart which the baby's father had bought for the baby. So today as well, as they move out in the afternoon, it is Raicharan puts the baby in the go-kart, and he puts the gold anklets and the bracelets that Anukul had bought for the baby, and he also puts the cap, the gold laced cap, as well as the yellow satin waistcoat that the father had bought for the baby. He puts it all on the baby and he takes the baby out for a nice stroll. Okay, and we are told that it's not a very good decision, but Raicharan somehow takes the baby somewhere very close to the river. Okay, he takes the baby to the fields, which is very close to the river, and not surprisingly, there is nobody around because the situation is still not very safe. Okay, it is just one day that the weather is it's a little bit clearer and it's a little bit better compared to the other days, but it is still not safe to be going out. Okay, but anyways, Raicharan and the baby go to these fields, and soon we are told that the baby sees something, and what the baby sees is a kadamba tree and the flowers on that kadamba tree. And the baby is very attracted to the flowers, and he tells Raicharan in his baby language that he wants one of those flowers, because we are told that Raicharan had, he had made a toy out of these very flowers of the kadamba tree a few days back, and the baby had really liked that toy. Okay, so now that he sees this entire tree with so many of those kadamba flowers, he wants one of those flowers at least. Okay, so this is where we had stopped, and we are told that they are all alone there. There's nobody around, and the baby is demanding for the flower from the kadamba tree. Okay, now yes, I will take it from here. It says here, but Raicharan had no wish that evening to go splashing knee deep through the mud to reach the flower. This is because if you remember from yesterday's class, the kadamba tree is on the mud flat. Okay, we had looked at a picture of a mud flat in yesterday's class. So if Raicharan needs to go and get the flower, he has to cross that mud flat. Okay, so it's going to be very dirty and he also doesn't know how deep it really is. Okay, so it could be dangerous as well. So on that particular day, he did not want to leave the baby behind and go and get the flower. Okay, so what he does is, so he quickly pointed his finger in the opposite direction, calling out, "Oh, look, baby, look at the bird." And with all sorts of curious noises, he pushed the go-kart rapidly away from the tree. Okay. So he's trying to distract the baby because he does not want to really go to the kadamba tree and get the flower for the baby. Okay. So he says, look at the bird, there's a bird around, or he makes all kinds of noises. But, the fact was that there was no bird around that place and there weren't any people. So there was nothing really that Raicharan could have done to distract the baby because there's nothing around. There's just the fields, there's the river, and then there's the kadamba tree. Okay. Then, but a child destined to be a judge cannot be put off so easily. Okay, so again, if you remember, this child is not an ordinary child. This is a very smart little boy. Okay, so you can't really distract him or fool him that easily. Okay, and besides, there was at the time nothing to attract his eyes. And you cannot keep up forever the pretense of an imaginary bird. So this is exactly what I was just saying. There was really nothing around to distract the baby, and the bird was an imaginary bird. The bird was not really there. Raicharan was simply making it up. Okay, so he couldn't pretend that there was a bird forever. Sooner or later, the baby would find out that Raicharan is making it up, and the baby is smart enough to find out, right? So Raicharan has no other option. So we are told here, the little master's mind was made up, and Raicharan was at his wit's end. So the master, he's not going to keep quiet. He's going to start crying. He's going to start shouting because he really wanted the kadamba flowers, right? So his mind is made up. He wants the flowers, and Raicharan was at his wit's end. That means he was out of ideas. He could not think of any other way to calm the child down or to distract him. He is totally out of ideas. Then we are told, says here, "Very well, baby," he said at last. "You sit still in the cart and I'll go and get you the pretty flower. Only mind you, don't go near the water." So this is a second decision where we can say that Raicharan was not really wise, because after all, we're talking about a baby. Okay, the baby is, it's very innocent. It doesn't understand danger. It doesn't understand the force of the water. It doesn't understand what a flood can do. It has no idea about it. Okay, so in the first place, it was wrong of Raicharan to bring the baby out near the river, because we have seen that the river was pretty rough and it had destroyed a lot of things in just very recently, just a few days back, right? The second bad decision was to leave the baby alone, because we've already seen that there was nobody around that place. So the baby is, after all, a baby, and you cannot tell children, to sit in one place. They will never listen to you. That is why they are children, right? So Raicharan just tells the baby, "You sit in this go-kart. I will go and get you the flower." But we all know children don't listen to it. Okay, children are very curious. They're very naughty. They're very instinctive. Okay, they don't understand, instructions, or they don't understand danger. More importantly, all right. So anyways, Raicharan tells the baby, "You sit here, I'll go and get the flowers." Then we're told, as he said this, he made his legs bare to the knees and waded through the oozing mud towards the tree. Okay. What it says here is basically he puts up, he's wearing his trousers, so he pulls up his trousers and he wades his way, that means slowly, through the the wet mud of the mud flat. He makes his way to the kadamba tree, and as he's moving, he can see, there's that oozing mud, the mud and the water of it. Okay, so it's very difficult basically for him to move through it, but he does it. He moves in that direction. So all of his attention is on how to get from this place to the kadamba tree. It's pretty difficult for him to walk through the mud flat, but he does it. Okay, so he really has no attention left for the child. Okay, so his thing is how to go forward, get the flower, and come back as soon as possible. He doesn't look back at the child. All right. Then we are told, the moment Raicharan had gone, his little master went off at racing speed to the forbidden river. Forbidden river, sorry, not river, forbidden water. Okay, forbidden because Raicharan had clearly told him, do not move out anyway, sit here in this go-kart, right? He was not supposed to go to the water, right? He was told exactly not to go there, right? Then the baby saw the river rushing by, splashing and gurgling as it went. He got down stealthily from the go-kart and toddled off towards the river. Now, baby is being naughty, being curious. This baby, he sees the water and he's excited about it. He's excited by the speed of the water. He's excited, how the water is moving here and there, and just the sight of water. And this is not just because the river was flooded or the river was rough. Any kind of water makes children very excited. Okay, they're just very delighted by the sight of water. You take children to the beach as well, they're very happy. They'll start laughing, they'll start smiling because it's just so exciting for them. So this river was even more exciting for the baby. Okay, so he gets down off stealthily, means very secretly. He is not supposed to do it. He knows that it is wrong. He knows that Raicharan had told him not to leave the go-kart. So still, very stealthily, he gets out from the go-kart and he toddled off towards the river. So in his baby walk, he goes towards the river, the very thing that Raicharan had told him not to do. On his way, he picked up a small stick and leaned over the bank of the stream pretending to fish. Now, being a baby, being full of imagination, full of mischief, he takes a small stick, he goes close to the water and he pretends like as if he's fishing. Okay, the mischievous fairies of the river, with their mysterious voices, seemed inviting him into their playhouse. Okay, so suddenly, I really like this particular line in the story because there's so much that it says, but then it doesn't reveal anything entirely to you. So Tagore here has tried to just give you it's like a hint that he gives you, but he doesn't tell you everything. Okay, what happens after this we are not really told, but it's a sort of a mystery in itself. It just says here, the mischievous fairies of the river. Now we know that there aren't any fairies, but he's just trying to give us the imagination of the child. Okay, so it's the child feels like there are these fairies in the water. With their mysterious voices, they seemed inviting him into their playhouse. So it seems like there are these mysterious creatures, and they're calling the child to come into the water because under the water is their playhouse, is a place for them all to play and have fun. Okay, so they're calling him to join in and play with them. Okay, this is the imagination of the child. Okay, obviously we know this cannot really happen, and yes, let's just look further on. It says here, Raicharan had plucked a handful of flowers from the tree and was carrying them back in the end of his cloth with his face wreathed in smiles. When he reached the go-kart, there was no one there. He looked on all sides and there was no one there. He looked back at the cart and there was no one there. Okay, so I think by now it's already clear to you what could have happened. We remember that the go-kart was right there. It was not too far away from the Kadamba tree, and it was just a mud flat that Raicharan had to cross to go to the Kadamba tree. Okay, so if he looked around, he would easily be able to see the child as well as the go-kart. So when he comes back with the Kadamba flowers wrapped in his cloth and full of smiles because he's going to make his little master very happy, he sees the go-kart, no doubt, but he doesn't see the baby. He looks everywhere around to see whether the baby had gotten out of the go-kart and gone into the fields or anything like that, but the baby is nowhere to be seen. Okay, so you can imagine what could have happened. It is obvious that the baby got drowned in the water, and you can imagine the speed of the water, because we had seen that the river was quite rough. So with the speed of the water, the baby could have been dragged down somewhere else, and it could have happened so quickly that Raicharan does not even see the body of the baby being dragged somewhere else. Okay, so that is exactly what happened. But the beauty of it is that Tagore does not tell us in explicit terms that this is what happened, but it is understood that the baby got into the water, and with the speed of the water, he got dragged and he most probably drowned. And it was so tragic and so bad that the dead body was not even found. Okay. So anyway, we are told here, and of course by now Raicharan has understood if he cannot see the baby anywhere around, he can see the go-kart but no baby there. He roughly has an idea as to what has happened. Okay, now we are told, in that first terrible moment, his blood froze within him. Before his eyes, the whole universe swam round like a dark mist. From the depth of his broken heart, he gave one piercing cry, Master, Master, little Master. So Raicharan is in a state of shock. Please understand this, because I would say that it was not very smart of him, but Raicharan was, he really did not make the smartest of choice by bringing the child near the water, right? And of course, it was not smart of him. Again, we had seen this. It was not smart of him to have left the child behind while he went to get the flowers, because children don't listen to instructions. Okay, but never in his wildest dreams did he think that the child would actually get out of the go-kart and go into the water and get drowned in it. He never imagined it, because if he had the slightest idea that this is what is going to happen, then he would not have left the baby behind, because he really loved the baby more than anything else in the world. Okay, so it was, it was a very bad decision on his part as an adult, but really he had never imagined that this is what is going to happen. Okay, so he understood what has happened, but he's in such a state of shock that he can't even accept that the baby is no more, and we can't even see the body. The baby has just been dragged by the river Padma. Okay, so the only thing he can say is Master, Master, little Master, like as if the master is around, the master is hiding somewhere. That is how he is behaving, right? So we are told here, but no voice answered Channa. So obviously it's made very clear to us the baby is not hiding, the baby has drowned. Okay, no child laughed mischievously back. No scream of the baby, no scream of baby delight welcomed his return. Only the river ran, with its splashing, gurgling noise as before, as though it knew nothing at all, and had no time to attend to such a tiny human event as the death of a child. Okay, these lines are also very, very nicely written. What it tells us here is that the only thing that continued going is the river. They always say this: bad things will happen, many people will die, but life will go on. In the same way, we have such a big tragedy that has happened. A child has died, okay, but the river does not care. The river Padma just does not care. It continues with the same force and the same terror that it was flowing previously. It continues flowing in the same way, because the river does not care about anything, and definitely does not care about like it says here, such a tiny human event as the death of a child. It does not. It's not upset the way Raicharan is. Okay, so the river goes on very much like life. Okay, then we are told, now this had happened in the afternoon. Remember, it was afternoon time, all of this has happened, and now it's evening. Okay, so we are told, as the evening passed by, Raicharan's mistress became very anxious. So Raicharan's mistress, that is Anukul's wife and the baby's mother, she became very anxious. She became very tense. She's wondering, okay, these two had gone out. My son and Raicharan, the servant, they had gone out. Why have they not come back? It's evening already. They went out in the afternoon. So she sent men out on all sides to search. She started wondering what has happened to them. Where have they gone? So she sent a few servants to search for both of them. They went with lanterns in their hands. So it's getting pretty dark. Okay, it's not just evening, it's almost approaching night. So the servants take lanterns and they come out to search for Raicharan and the baby. So with lanterns in their hands, and reached at last the banks of the Padma. So finally they looked all over the place, and they finally come on the banks of the Padma, close to the river Padma. There they found Raicharan rushing up and down the fields like a stormy wind, shouting the cry of despair, Master, Master, little Master. So when they reach the banks of the river Padma, that is when they realize that Raicharan is running all over the place like a madman, and the only thing that he's saying is master, master, little master. A few words here, shouting the cry of despair. Despair is hopelessness. So very hopelessly, he's just he knows what has happened, but he does not have the courage in him to accept that the baby is no more. He cannot even imagine that whole situation as to what happened to the baby. Okay, so he's still in denial, and he keeps saying master, master, little master, as if by calling out the baby will somehow come. He's just hoping against hope that the baby is alive somewhere. Okay, so we can understand that Raicharan's mental state at this point is completely he really has no idea of his reality. He is still in a state of shock, and he doesn't know how to deal with this big tragedy. He does not know how to face his master, and even on a personal level, he cannot accept the fact that under his care, the one child that he loved more than anything else in the world has died. Okay, so he is in a very bad state. Then we are told, when they got Raicharan home at last, so they had to get him, they had to drag him. He would not come on his own. He would keep looking around for the child. So when they got Raicharan home at last, he fell prostrate at his mistress's feet. They shook him and questioned him and asked him repeatedly where he had left the child. But all he could say was that he knew nothing. Okay, so he fell prostrate. That means he fell, completely flat on his face in front of his mistress's feet. He's trying to beg and say, "I'm sorry." Of course, "I'm sorry" is not enough, but that's the only thing he could do. Okay, and even after that, the servants as well as Anukul and his wife, they keep asking him the same question: where is the child? Where is the child? And Raicharan is, again so affected by the whole incident. He's still in a state of shock. He cannot even say with his own mouth that the child has died. They are two big words, and he cannot say it. Okay, so the only thing he says is, "I don't know anything. I don't know where the child is." Okay, it's not that he's purposely doing it. It's just it's a trauma response. He's been through that shock, and he himself cannot accept the fact that the child is no more. Okay, so then we are told, though everyone held the opinion that the Padma had swallowed the child, there was a lurking doubt left in the mind, for a band of gypsies had been noticed outside the village that afternoon, and some suspicion rested on them. So everyone understood that they're just piecing all these pieces of puzzle together. If Raicharan went to the banks of the river Padma, if the Padma was rough, it was flooding the villages around, and Raicharan went to get the Kadamba flowers by keeping the baby alone in the go-kart. That means when Raicharan went to get the flowers, the baby must have gone to the river, and the river with all its force must have drowned the child and taken the body somewhere else. Okay, so everybody understood that this is most likely what could have happened. That is why the baby is nowhere to be found, and even the body of the baby cannot be found, because the river was quite rough, and the body also has been dragged far away so that they can't even see it and they can't get it back. Okay, so there's no proof of the child being dead, but it is understood, right? So most people had that understanding. They came up to this conclusion. But some people also started doubting. They said, what if a band of gypsies? So gypsies are these people who will move from place to place. You must have seen them. You actually don't see them very often now. But in Goa also, we used to have these people. You would see them wearing their jewelry, wearing this colorful attire, and they would move. They look a little better than beggars. So that is what they're referring to here. So some people are saying maybe those gypsies took the child and they disappeared. Okay, because somebody had seen those gypsies in outside the village that same day in the afternoon, the very time that the baby dies. Okay, but anyway, we as readers already understand that the baby is dead, but here these people, some people start saying that it is possible that those gypsies kidnapped the baby and they ran away with the baby. Okay, the mother went so far in her wild grief as to think it possible that Raicharan himself had stolen the child. She called him aside and with piteous entreaty said, Raicharan, give me back my baby or give me back my child. Take from me any money you ask, but give me back my child. Okay, so the mother is going mad. Of course, she has just one child, and this child cannot be found. When you ask Raicharan, he says he does not know what has happened. He doesn't tell them what he thinks has happened. He just says he does not know. So the mother has all of her doubts on Raicharan. She says, you know, if you have hidden the baby, if you have kidnapped the baby, please tell me. I will give you anything you want. Please, I just want my child back. Okay. But of course, we as readers know that Raicharan loved the baby too much to ever think of even kidnapping the baby or, any of these other negative things. Raicharan would never have done that. Okay, but the mother, of course, does not know Raicharan too well. Anukul knows Raicharan very well, but his wife does not know Raicharan too well. So she has a strong doubt that Raicharan himself has done something with the baby. Okay, now we'll see why is it that she has this doubt. What is her understanding? Anyway, when she tells Raicharan and when she pleads him, please give me back my baby, Raicharan only beat his forehead in reply. His mistress ordered him out of the house. So another thing about Raicharan is that he does not openly tell them what has happened, and he does not plead his own innocence. He just keeps quiet, and now we are told that he beats his forehead because he understands that what has happened cannot be reversed. But he cannot stop blaming himself for it either. Okay, so he only beats his forehead, and the mistress, that is Anukul's wife and the baby's mother, she cannot tolerate it. She cannot, because of course Raicharan is to be blamed for everything. Okay, so she tells him, Raicharan, you have to get out of the house. I cannot bear you, and it is you who has done something to my baby. We know that this is not a very logical understanding, but this woman is in so much of pain, so much of sorrow, that she just blames Raicharan for everything. She believes that Raicharan has taken her baby somewhere and done something with the baby. So Anukul the wife, the husband rather, Anukul tried to reason his wife out of this wholly unjust suspicion. Why on earth, he said, should he commit such a crime as that? So, he says, I have known Raicharan for so long. He has looked after me, and now he has looked after our baby. So, and of course, he loved the baby so much. Okay, why would he do something like that? Why would he kidnap our child? Okay, whatever happened was an accident. You can't think that Raicharan could have kidnapped our child or Raicharan could have done something with our child. Okay, but the mother only replied, the baby had gold ornaments on his body. Who knows? And it was impossible to reason with her after that. So you remember every time Raicharan would take the baby out, he would always put the gold bracelets, the gold anklets that the father had bought for the baby, and he would take him out every time he went out. So the mother's point is, I feel that Raicharan has kidnapped our baby because there are gold ornaments. So Raicharan, being a servant, must have been greedy. He wanted those gold ornaments, so that's why he must have taken the baby and he must have sold the gold ornament somewhere else. Okay, it is not a very logical understanding, but it is possible, and she makes it up, and she blames Raicharan for the entire thing. And here is where we need to ask ourselves this question again. A lot of times in India, when something terrible takes place in a house, if there is a tragedy of some kind, or if there is something missing in the house, the first suspicion we have is on the servant. Okay, we all know this. It's a very common thing. If say suppose there was money kept on the table and suddenly the money is missing, and you have a servant in the house, you will always suspect the servant first. And here in this case it is no different. When the boy cannot be found, the mother says definitely it is the servant. And here in this case, we have understood that Raicharan is not like that because he's been with the family and he's very loyal and he really loved the child. But it does not change the fact that when things go bad, we always will doubt the servant first. Okay, so this is what she does. And after that, of course, it was impossible for her to be convinced. No, she would just not listen. She kept telling everyone that Raicharan has done something, and she tells her husband and her in-laws, please remove Raicharan out of this house. I cannot tolerate him in this house. So Raicharan has to leave the job and go back. Okay, we will stop here for today's class, and in the next class we will see what happens to Raicharan after he has been accused of doing something to the baby. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you in the next class.